Alright, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This is going to be kind of a theory type of video, Q&A as well too, of course. We'll get into more of you guys' questions afterwards. But what do we think could cause the kingdom to enter the war? And spoiler warning, of course, if you're not caught up for the Walking Dead television series. So this one came from RiotnRespect, who said, I feel like that kid with the staff may die and make Ezekiel realize that fighting is the only real option. They've been giving that kid a lot of time in the episodes he's been in. So that's from RiotnRespect. And I did see a few other people mention something similar after we see the scene in the mid-season premiere where you have him and Carol's like trying to tell him that you're too damn loud out in the forest and that people are going to be able to spot you. They're going to be able to hear you moving around and making all that noise. So, could it be foreshadowing that him being clumsy and him not being a good survivor could cause it? We do know that from the episode The Well, we got to see that Ezekiel does care for Benjamin more than a lot of the other people in the kingdom, probably. He's one of the characters he wants to keep alive. He's one of the people he wants to protect the most, and that's why he has Morgan and asked Morgan to train him so that he can learn to defend himself and, kind of taking on maybe a fatherly figure type of role for Ben. So I really like this idea. I really like this theory that we could see Ben be killed off, and then that could cause the kingdom to want to enter the war. Really like that. It's going to need something. Like something's going to need to happen at the kingdom to cause the kingdom to get into the war with Rick and the others. Who knows if it's going to be that or something else. And please, anybody who's into spoilers, no judging. Just if you could keep it to yourselves and leave it out of the comments, we appreciate it. We want to do predictions. We don't necessarily want leaked information. Big difference. And I'm not privy to any, but I really like the idea. I think that if Benjamin was to die or something happened to him, that Ezekiel, that may be enough to kind of, twist his arm and get him to, go in with Rick and the others and, go after the saviors. I mean, it would be a pretty big sequence too, I think, for them. Even though we just met him recently, he's got a very kind of vulnerable aspect to the character because he's young, he's youthful, and we've seen that Ezekiel does care for him, so we can understand that kind of bond that they have. And for us as viewers, if we saw something happen to Ben, it could definitely work to get Ezekiel, going in that direction to want to go to war, and it'd be enough to warrant the change. I think it would make a perfect sense. So we'll see what happens with that, if it's something else. But one way or another, we know that the kingdom has to help Rick out in some way because for purposes of the story, it has to happen sooner or later. So we'll see. Write your comments below. Let me know what you guys think. Again, predictions, but not spoilers, please. Rick Grimes says, is one of the people with the name, YouTube username Rick Grimes. Q&A, Trev, do you think Negan could possibly outlive Rick? So we'll keep this to TV series because comic book series is a different deal, and some people have requested a comic book series Q&A after the issue on Wednesday, 164, so maybe I'll do that in the next couple days for you guys to let you guys know. Comic book only Q&A, so to speak. For this one, we'll keep it to TV series, and I'll save that for possibility of comic series. For TV series, I mean, it's so early right now to say. It's really hard to tell. JDM is very busy, and it seems like Andrew Lincoln, for the most part, is a Walking Dead only guy. I can't think of any other projects he's worked on. He's probably done some stuff, but I can't think of like another TV show or something like that Andrew Lincoln has been on or been in or done. I know he's mentioned some things that he'd like to do, but I mean, he's probably going to pay a lot to be Rick, and it's like a huge role, for him, obviously. Humongous role to be able to play Rick Grimes, and probably the most popular TV series, drama, written TV series, there's probably been on TV in maybe since The Sopranos or something. I mean, Walking Dead's numbers are insane, and it's Game of Thrones is up there too as well, of course. Breaking Bad, amazing, and there's lots of others too. But Walking Dead is certainly one of the premier TV series that's been on last decade or two. So, do I think that JDM could stay on longer than Andrew Lincoln? I don't know, man. With the projects he's worked on stuff and the amount of different stuff he's done, I have a hard time thinking that JDM would stick around as Negan longer than Andrew Lincoln would as Rick. And I do think a lot of times in this type of case could be up to the actors. I'm sure that they might want to keep both around for a really long time, but in the real world, it's already 7 years into Walking Dead. So that's really tough to try to predict, what's going to happen with that, because you're talking about real people in real life is maybe even harder to predict sometimes than fiction. Jason Helf says, Q&A Trev, do you think that the mid-season premiere was a top 10 episode? So was episode 9 a top 10 episode for Walking Dead overall? No, at least not for me. And again, people get new bias, so check yourself before you wreck yourself. Just because it's new, you have to factor that in. Like, you have to factor in, okay, it's brand new, it's fresh. So it's going to have a hotter feel to it, a new shiny polish to it versus some of those older episodes we've had. But is it one of the top 10 best episodes of The Walking Dead ever? No. I mean, we've had some incredible episodes of Walking Dead, and you can watch my top 10 list in the channel if you want to, if you haven't seen it yet. I just updated it this break. No, it's good, but I wouldn't put it there. I don't think it's the best episode of the season. It's probably one of them, but it's not the top one. The Day Will Come When You Won't Be is probably better, and mid-season finale was pretty good as well, too. Character deaths always help. Shock value always helps get people, it's like most memorable stuff. It was a good premiere, though. It's not bad. I don't think it's one of the best episodes they've ever done. Because they're getting close to have finishing 100 episodes now. So, in terms of top 10, they're going to have to do some really good stuff to break that list, Season 7 premiere was that great to break the list. Some of the others, too, here and there. It's tricky to say, but I wouldn't put that top 10 yet myself. But you guys can write your comments below as well. Let me know if you think it was one of the best episodes they've ever done. Med1965 says, hey Trev, what do you think the relationship is between Ezekiel and the wimp, or that wimp Gregory, Hilltop leader? For anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about. Did they have one in the comic series? Who do you think will die at the kingdom to finally convince Ezekiel to join Rick's fight? Well, we just talked about it earlier. I think that Ben is perfect setup for it, or maybe something else will happen and it doesn't necessarily need to have a character death for them to join. We'll see, but that certainly would fit. Did they ever have a relationship? So Ezekiel and Gregory, they never had one in the comics. We don't know how Ezekiel feels about Gregory. We don't know if he knows who he is. He knows Jesus, right? But he doesn't know Gregory so far as maybe you'd think he would know of him. But, I don't know. The two, I can't see the two seeing eye to eye at all. I mean, they are quite polar opposites. Ezekiel is like a man of honor and integrity. And then you have Gregory, who's like a used car salesman to the next degree. He's nothing against used car salesmen, but sometimes as long as what they're doing is relatively reasonable and they've got a markup, but they're not screwing people, But Gregory, it was totally the type of guy that would screw over anybody given the opportunity. So especially to save his own skin, coward, right? So I like Ezekiel a lot more for sure, but we don't know anything about their about a relationship between them, or if they even know about each other, what they know. We don't know. Because you got to consider that Jesus may not tell Gregory everything. If Jesus knows about other stuff when he's out there running around and he meets people, he may not be apt to tell Gregory everything because he knows who Gregory is. And to me, it seems like he doesn't even like him, to be honest. Michael McMahon says, hey Trev, when will we see a Negan-only episode to get some background on the character? I'll do a prediction for you, Mike. I think we'll probably see that first half season 8. I'm thinking like episode 4, episode 5, flashback episode. That's usually when they like to do flashback episodes, and episodes like that is around that. Kind of something like Here's Not Here, something like that to break up all-out war. Of course, it could be at any different time, but I'm expecting to see it in season 8. Probably get a flashback episode with JDM as Negan. That would be incredible, and that would be a perfect time to do it. So we'll see if they go for it. I really hope that they do, because that will be amazing to see. Freeland256 says, the day will come when you won't be. The Well and Rockin' the Road are the highest rated episodes from season 7 so far. Do you think it is because Greg Nicotero directed them? Thanks, love your videos. Well, they trust Greg Nicotero, right, to deliver some of the best quality of the show. Whenever they have a huge episode now, they go to him. They used to have Ernest Dickerson, who did some amazing episodes as well too. And at one time I thought was the best director for Walking Dead, but Greg Nicotero has directed episodes that I would say even surpassed, a lot of Ernest Dickerson's episodes. So you can't give the director all the credit because there's so much stuff that goes into an episode. You have the whole cast and production and writing and everything, and but they give Greg a lot of the episodes that they know are going to be climactic, and rightfully so. He's incredible with regards to the effects. I think it's amazing that in the premiere they filmed everybody's deaths. They filmed a lot of potential, deaths there, and they had the scene with them all at the table, Last Supper type of dream sequence deal. I mean, he went over and above for sure in the premiere, and it showed, and it was amazing. So I think right now, watching out for his episodes is really where it's at. I mean, when I see the wiki, I look for his episodes, and I look forward to them because I know that something good is going to happen whenever he's got an episode. Kind of like a finale or a premiere. You just kind of know that it's going to be something good, and his episodes pretty much always are. Next one is, hey Trev, do you think Rosita's recent hostility with Sasha will break out into a big fight with her at some point? And if it happens, given Sonequa Martin Green's future with the show, Rosita tries to kill only to be killed by... Okay, so you're getting into some theories and stuff like this. I'm just going to skip it here. I don't think that Rosita will attack Sasha or anything like that, no, or vice versa. I think that, of course, Rosita does hold some hostility towards her because of what happened, and anytime someone causes you pain, it's natural to hold aggression and hostility towards them because of pain transfer. It's the way human beings work. Pain transfer in goes somewhere else, either sadistically or masochistically. Pain goes somewhere. In other words, pain, it all comes down to pain and pleasure, basically. Pain is the bad stuff. It's the stuff that, makes people do all kinds of crazy stuff. Pain is where it all starts, at the simplest level. So, when Sasha did that to her and made her, hurt because Abraham left her, she harbors some hostility still towards her, a little bit. It's not as bad as it could be. She probably won't try to kill her, I don't think. So, be like BL4K3, something, I don't know, be like Blake or something. Why does Morgan stay at the Kingdom? And then we'll do one more after this one. So, why do we think Morgan stays at the Kingdom? I thought about this for a minute, and in a way it kind of makes sense that he stayed there to begin with, because if he would have left, they might have followed him and tried to figure out where he was going and this kind of stuff, and Morgan didn't know if he could trust the people of the Kingdom or not, and if they were bad people, and if they try to follow him back and find out where Alexandria is and then get into some kind of back and forth battle. So for Morgan, it made sense to stay because Ezekiel asked him to help out with some things that were going on there. But as well, he doesn't see eye to eye with Rick 100%. He doesn't feel good about having to kill people. He probably just wants to get away from all that, and Carol does too, it seems like. So the Kingdom is a good place for them to stay. Plus, also for long term in the story, it's good to have different, survivors in different spots. You've got Maggie and Sasha there, and then you've got Carol and Morgan there. It helps for a point of view. You want to have some core characters to anchor the story in different perspectives and different points of view, and it's good to have them spread out so that they can flip around. You had Tara over here, and you had this going on here in the first half, and then you had Dwight and Negan and Daryl, and you have different points of view all over the place, so it gives us it makes it feel more natural rather than just watching Ezekiel and we don't know who he is. Gives us that perspective. Last one will be from Dr. Death, who says, I never complained about The Walking Dead, but I'm so disappointed in how fake Shiva looks, but great episode otherwise. So I kind of already gave my thoughts on that one. Yeah, that's true. In this episode, Shiva didn't look the best. Let's do one more then. Vampire Slayer 007 says, hey Trev, seeing now, have you ranked the groups as of right in power, so how strong they are in power, yesterday's video. What kind of war could we be looking at? More geared towards hand-to-hand with melee weapons. Those that have guns are on the front lines first. Germ warfare, or could we see a little of everything? So I think we're going to see some guerrilla tactics from Rick and the group, because at first they may not have the numbers. We could see some zombies used, maybe lured in. We could see them use those explosives they had. We could see some cool different tactics there. You've got the zombies as an environmental piece, which could make things interesting. So you have Rick and the others, they can kind of lure them in, can go back, walkers can come in, and back fighting back and forth like that throughout season 8 probably. But in terms of weapons and everything, I think it'll mostly be guns for the most part. I don't think it'll be a lot of hand-to-hand. A little bit hand-to-hand, I think, but not a ton. Probably mostly firearms. And maybe, like with the Kingdom, they've got the horseback and swords and everything, so that's pretty cool, and some arrows, right, and bolts for Daryl. So probably a really good mix with the zombies mixed in, and it should make it a really great war to see play out. For sure. That'll be it for today's Q&A, guys. Continue to send me your questions for tomorrow. We're going to go straight through till Sunday. Every day I should have one for you guys this week, unless something happens to my computer. Something should be fine. So, of course, another video tomorrow and all the way through to the review for the second episode of the second half of The Walking Dead Season 7. If you guys like today's video, please thumb it up below. You can share, you can favorite, and if you're new and you want to subscribe, bottom left to subscribe. You can click the bell at the bottom to turn on notifications. And wow, it sounds like I've said that about 1,000 times. Probably about 4,000 this time. So for this video, guys, see you again soon. As always, it's Trev saying peace. Later, guys. See you. What do you want us to do? I don't know, viewer. How about a subscription? Do you think that might be in order? Or is that too much to ask?